Okay, well, thanks for making it in. First of all, what happened while I was gone? I know I heard from some of you guys while I was away. So what's happening? Catch me up.
I actually had a win. My inspection happened out in Lorraine with
Yes.
my old folks.
Yes.
And the ROC came back clean, nothing to be fixed, only the point of sale things that the city requires.
Perfect.
And they're already doing the work.
Yay.
They're already doing the work already.
Good.
So,
Good.
yeah,
So that seems to be moving into something more realistic.
Yes, and I handed off any questions, because they hit me with more questions about closing costs and title transfer. And I said, the title company would be happy to answer those questions. I know who they're in touch with.
Good.
Everybody's contact information.
Good. We're making
And
progress.
I
Good.
think I said that like 4 times.
Good. How'd that feel
And
to pass it off?
It felt wonderful, because it was a little 1-minute window of the title company would be happy to answer that.
And they can bitch at the title company if they
Right,
don't like
and
what
here's
they
another
hear.
question for you, Marty. Okay, that's gonna be another title question. That's gonna be who you talk to, there's the title company.
Did you have any infiltration from the sun?
Well, yes, and through them, because they were like, well, he brought up this question, and da-da-da, and I said, the title company's been in touch with him. This, they have, they each have each other's contact information, let them.
Good. Good. So to capitalize on that a little bit, what we discovered, and this is kind of pertinent to the rest of us as well. Marty thought he was creating a higher level of customer service by answering all of their questions, even things that they may or may not, he may not have been able to answer, because he's thinking, I'm trying to give them all the answers to the questions that they're asking, being a really, really great agent. And he boxed himself in. So what ended up happening is, like, he was asking, for example, was they were asking about closing costs. Well, the amount of closing costs come up, and he said, well, it should be around this or this or this or this, and now all of a sudden they are complaining to him about how much the closing cost is. Well, that's not his, he doesn't set that price point for them. So we quickly learned that what you know, what you don't know, you pass it off to whoever, whether it's lender, title, whatever it is. So that worked out beautiful. All right, good. I'm glad to hear that, because I was a little nervous about that.
Yeah, and I was so happy the inspection came back clean. It was like, nothing.
Fantastic. That's good.
Don't
That's
even have to
good.
go down that road.
Good. What else? What else? What else?
So obviously can I share what?
That's what I want you to do. Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm really excited. I have a friend who has some investors backing him up to purchase some duplexes and multifamilies. And I spoke with him the other day to try to get an idea of, what his budget is. And I thought he was joking when he said upwards of $6 million. And he said, no, I'm serious. So the thing that I had to deal with that I just didn't kind of know how to deal with the dialogue was when he was asking for A and B class neighborhoods. So basically when I spoke with Mark, I spoke with him and I said, it's not up to me to determine what an A or B class neighborhood is. You kind of have to point me in that direction. But that should be a nice
So do you
thing.
guys understand what that means? He's looking for an A and B class neighborhood. So what we had a discussion about, if I may capitalize, is that was borderline fair housing violation. Because basically he's saying, like, I don't want to be in some trashy neighborhood. That's just like saying, well, if you're Italian, I'll take you to Little Italy. If you're Spanish, I'll take you to, the west side of Cleveland. Like, you can't do any of that because you're kind of steering. So when we had this discussion, I said, you've got to ask him specifically what he's looking for, because you can't decide what an A and B neighborhood is because now you're inserting your fair housing opinion, and that could be an issue. One step beyond that, whenever you're dealing with people like this, the real estate board, so you know, puts plants out. It doesn't happen often, but they'll put a plant out and they'll call an agent randomly and start asking all types of unethical questions to see if you bite. And if you bite, you get a certified letter from the real estate board that says we had an evaluator come out and you violated this and this and this and this and this, and now you either have to take a class, take a fine, or be suspended. So be very, very careful, much like what we were talking about earlier with Marty. You think you're providing them with this high level of service, and you could be stepping out of bounds and get yourself in trouble. I'm not trying to scare you, but I want to make you aware of it. So when we were having that discussion, she said A and B neighborhoods. I said, you got to dig a little bit deeper and find out what that looks like. Go
Is
ahead.
that back to the Mark answer, always ask more questions then?
Ask more questions.
Ask
Yeah,
more questions
exactly.
as to what their definition is, because
Right.
A and B neighborhood, what do you mean by that?
Yeah,
What
so-
is,
So just so you know, and I've repeated this before, and this may be new to you, is if somebody wants to know about neighborhoods, direct them to cleveland.com. It evaluates the neighborhoods, levels of economic income, the schools, the city services, the taxes, like all that stuff. They provide that because they're not realtors, so they don't have to fall under that auspice. So cleveland.com is always the best place. Say, there are lots of wonderful neighborhoods in the area, it just depends on what appeals to you most. Please go on cleveland.com and it'll give you all the neighborhoods that are set up. There was one printout that Christian and I had that said cleveland.com on the top of it, and it evaluated taxes and average price point and what is a house selling for. And it literally went from every single neighborhood, and at one page it actually ranked them. Like, this is the best place to raise your kids, this is the best place to invest in rental property, whatever it is. So it is a great resource, and it doesn't hurt for you guys to kind of like become better versed with that too, because then you can direct it and say, go to page 3 of cleveland.com, and it'll give you the schools, or the taxes, or whatever. So keep that in mind. All right, good, so that's a really big one, so I'm pretty excited about that. So what else? What else? Anything else? No? Sure? Okay. I will probably do this stuff. So the topic that I really wanted to talk about, and unfortunately you guys are going to probably have to hear about it again on Thursday, is response time. Your response time in every facet of the business. Response time, whether that's a phone call from Jessica, a return call to me, a lead, like whatever it is, response time, the way that leads are being distributed is based on your response time. So Sophia calls somebody and says, I have a lead, she doesn't hear back from you within half an hour maybe, she's gonna give it to somebody else. It's just as simple as that. So we all have lives and you all get busy and all that kind of thing, but it is not beyond your best interest if you are out with somebody and say, excuse me for 1 second, I just have to take this. And you step away and you go, I'm on an appointment right now, but I got it, I'll take care of it, done. That takes all of 10 seconds. Now it's yours. So I would encourage if you're reached out to, that's how you do it. When I was a productivity coach here, I had everybody on the list, and somebody was like looking for something, and I would say, so-and-so agent needs an open house, whoever gets to it first gets it. Send. And whoever grabbed it first was the one that got it. So make sure that your response time is quick when it comes to that, when it comes to leads. The second thing is for your clients. Make sure your response time is quick. Better to call them and say, hey, you had no activity on the property on your listing than to not call them at all. Like, just make sure that they know that you're on top of it. That, so anybody that you've contacted, open house, a follow-up lead, anything like that. Like first thing in the morning, hey, just want to let you know I'm making my follow-up calls this morning, and haven't found anything yet. I look forward to seeing you later. Or did you get me back that ROC? Did you decide on what neighborhood you want to look in? Just as long as you're in communication with them, you don't necessarily have to be giving them some mind-blowing information. However, if your clients say to you, don't call me unless there's an offer. Don't call me unless there's, like, you've got to kind of figure that out. But at least try to make contact with your clients at least once a week. And better than that, if they get in contact with you, call them right away. You know about the under promise and over deliver, right? I don't know the answer to that question is. I'll get it back to you before the end of the day, and get it in 1 hour. It just makes you look good. Make sense? So response time is going to be key. If you add calendar events to it, or you put it on your schedule, that's going to be the best way to go. Questions about that? Nothing else? Okay. So, and again, wholesale. So we had a visit from Erie View that came in. We were going to try to get them in once a month. This was actually prompted by Marty, because you can ask them questions in that open forum and we're not crisscrossing lines. Do you guys understand what that is? So as soon as something goes in contract and it makes its way to Jessica, any title question, direct them to her, and then she'll direct them out. If it's just a matter of, what do you think the closing costs are going to be? What is the closing time? Like things that you don't know as you're inquiring for your own knowledge that's not transactional, that's okay. But as soon as it gets to her, if you start responding, my guy Elliot does this because he's much like Marty, like trying to overdo it and have everything together and make sure everything's done. Now all of a sudden, the title company is contacting Elliot and not Jessica, and she doesn't know what's going on. And so things get missed, and I'll tell you, come pay time, that's gonna be a problem. Because now something closed and she isn't even aware about it, it's not processed, now you have to wait to get paid. You understand what I mean by that? So as soon as it gets into contract and it goes to her, any title questions outside of your client contacting them directly, goes through her. You don't contact the title company yourself. Okay? All right. And if you have questions about that, just say, Mark, I have a question about this, how do I do it? And I'll help you through it. So that's gonna be kind of important. What else do I have here? I don't have a whole lot just because we're a little slim today. So the other thing that we can do, how has your experience been? Has anybody been dealing with Nations Lending with any of their clients so far yet? Probably not you guys yet. Okay, because we're going to do a little bit of refinement, because I guess there's a little bit of a lag in response time with them. So just for your own FYI, like that's our sponsored lender, that's who we want to use, that's what we're going to go to next. You know, see how they can set us up. However, it seems like some of their guys are like taking their time getting back to people, and it's causing customer service to suffer. So that's something that I have to be responsible toward getting toward.
I mean, I've heard rumblings, but the people that I have them working with right now, my sellers that are going to be buyers, they're kind of on hold anyway, is what they got back to them with
Okay.
was, hey, you need to clean up some of this debt and then to move forward anyway, but the house still isn't under contract, so.
Sure.
So it's kind of a holding pattern, I guess, so to speak, so I don't know.
That is something that made its way to me a few times over the weekend while I was gone. That I'm gonna have to double back and follow up on. Much like, you know, we're trying to provide you with vendors that are responsive and are giving you good service. If they're not, that's my job to go, hey, we got this, why are you not doing this?
All right, but you hear rumblings from other people, so it's kind of this guy.
Yes.
One of those things
And
where
if those things do occur, like, please make me aware of it, because that's something that I can take off of your plate and I can deal with, and you just stick with your transactions and your lead generate. Okay? Anything else? All right, well, this is Slim. Lastly, put this on your calendar. This is a scheduled, this is a scheduled appointment for Tuesdays and Thursdays. Because I was getting phone calls like, oh, I have this, or oh, I have that. Like, if you had another appointment with somebody else, you wouldn't cancel an appointment with the client to do something else. So put this, it's just 2 days. It's 2 days or 5 days. It's just 2 days. So just make sure it's on your calendar so that you can show up for it. Okay? All right, we'll leave it like that because it looks like you're getting ready to start something. So,
Is it,
all right.
is it the,